It's time for strategic marketing on today's Smart Chiropractor show. This is where we get tactical and practical, showcasing opportunities for you to improve the communications and marketing in your practice. What are those action steps you can take? I know a lot of docs out there that are passionate about serving their community. They're passionate about getting out there and telling the story. They're passionate about building and growing a practice that they can be super proud of. And often the question becomes, what do I do to get there? And that is what strategic marketing is all about. Today, we're going to talk about how to get started with video. Video is just one of those channels, platforms. You can go on any platform and shoot video, Facebook, Instagram, your website, YouTube. You could post a video in a variety of different places. But I want to talk about just some practical steps in and around video production and get Jason's feedback as well, because video, I'm going to tell you, it's a lot easier than you think it is. So what are the tactical tips with video? A couple things to keep in mind. Video is a skill, just like an adjustment. Your 10th video is going to be probably better than your first. Your 10th adjustment is probably better than the first adjustment. So don't get stressed out when you start. So many docs, and I understand, as a naturally introverted person, hopping on video the first time was like painstaking, and nobody loves to, not that many people I should say, love to watch themselves on video. So know that you're not alone. Know that everybody feels the same way, but the action steps you take today, the sooner you get in those reps and understand, hey, my 100th video is going to be better. My 10th video is going to be better. You just got to build that skill. You gotta work out to build that muscle. As Gary Vaynerchuk would say, you can't watch somebody do push-ups and expect to get ripped. You got to get down there and do them yourself. So the same thing holds true with video. Don't get overly fearful or stressed out. You just got to get started. The other thing to keep in mind is that the beauty of what we all have in our pockets these days is it's beyond words, practically. You don't need to necessarily have the latest, greatest DSLR camera and all of the lighting and a perfect microphone to get started. Quite often, if you have a relatively new iPhone or relatively new Android-based phone, you're going to do just fine. These phones produce video that is astounding in quality. So here are the two tips that I would give you to get started, of how to get started with video. One is that you want to ensure that your audio is clear. We think about video visually, and that's an important component, but number one is having clear audio. So ensure that the camera is not 8,000 feet away. Make sure it's close enough that when you're speaking and speaking loudly, that you're going to have clear audio go in. And ideally, you're not going to be in a loud atmosphere, a loud place that really distracts from whatever you're saying. Because the number one reason why people click off of videos is actually poor audio quality. So you want to ensure you have the highest audio quality. I can tell you the microphones on your smartphone is going to be fantastic as long as you're in a relatively quiet environment and you're speaking with a little bit of oomph. So that is number one. And number two is the lighting component. You don't need super fancy lights. If you want to check out a video recording guide, we have that as a blog at thesmartchiropractor.com. I'll try to drop that link down below. We have a complete guide there that showcases every single bell and whistle you can have and what we use personally ourselves. However, the most important thing with lighting to keep in mind is if you have a window near you, have it in front of you or to the side, because if you have the light behind you, you become a shadow and nobody can see. So you want to light up your face. Think about it that way. If you're near a window, have the light coming in from the side, have the light coming in from the front so that you are well illuminated. That is going to 9 times out of 10 get you very far down the road in terms of having a high production quality on your video for about $0. Jason, when we talk video, I know this is an area that we try to encourage, and we're going to do a lot more intense job this year, encouraging our docs to get out there and shoot video that are members of Smart Chiropractor, because we give them those scripts week after week. What are your thoughts about video? How do you get started? I know you and I have been doing it a little while, but if you think back to when you got started, what were maybe a tip or two that you would offer a doc just getting started today?
Yeah, well, I think the most important thing is to, assess the circumstance. And what I mean by assess the circumstance is, if you're like me and Jeff, we're both introverts. This is not natural for us. If you're like us, you probably question, does anybody really care what I'm going to say? Is it worth my time? am I going to really come across as okay? And, and what about the haters? We know they're out there. So it's very easy to talk yourself out of taking action. There's plenty of reasons that are legitimate reasons why you probably don't want to do it. It's not comfortable. There's risk that somebody's going to not like you. They're going to say something bad and judge you, all those things, just like Jeff and I are going through right now. This is how it is and how it works. However, if you're also like us, then you recognize that there's also no more powerful, easier, free way to get your specific message to your audience. There's just nothing better. And I mean that on every level. There's pros and cons to everything. Audio is great, gives you a great way to connect with people. Written is great. People love to read things in certain cases and so on. But when you put it all together, video really is the package. It communicates your visuals. It communicates your facial expressions as well as audio. And the reality is, with a camera or a phone, or make sure you have a tripod or something. Again, all the things, the practical tips Jeff's given you. You recognize that the benefits of speaking to my audience about how I can be of best service, about the value I can offer, that outweighs all that negative self-talk that is in there also. We all have it. We all go through it. Jeff and I, are there to support each other on a regular basis. And I'll even encourage that, to find an accountability partner. One of the things that you may want to consider is to find somebody to even maybe do videos with you. It's easier. It's more fun. I think it's more interesting, more than just a talking head. And you probably have a CA or another associate in your practice, or I see lots of chiropractors doing this different ways, and you can be creative. So the most important thing is to understand that results follow action. No action, no results. So if you're okay with no results, then you don't have to listen to us. If you want results, you're going to have to take some sort of action. And if the question is, well, what action should I take? The answer is two things. One, you should be hiring the Smart Chiropractor to automate the day-to-day stuff that really is hard work, that is required to keep your audience entertained. The amount of content necessary to keep people attentive to your channel, to your message, is somewhat overwhelming. And there's a very small percentage of you chiropractors out there that really want to take on that Herculean effort of being solely responsible for content. Now, we see this out there. Jeff and I, in fact, interviewed someone who's a student, who's all over Instagram, growing a massive following. And I started following her as well. And lots of chiropractors are following, just to see, how do you do this thing? How do you do it right? She's young, she's attractive, she enjoys doing this clearly, super creative, she's got all the right things. And even I go, wow, that's a lot. I mean, I don't want to do that much work. So that's part of what you've got to figure out in terms of your strategy. The other side of the equation of just hiring us to do only the work for you with you doing nothing is a good idea. It will get, that's action. It'll get you some results. But ultimately, if you're looking for best results, it is that 1-2 punch. Let us handle the things that are more generic, that are research-based, that require graphic design and, campaigns that are logical and make sense. Let us put together sort of your curriculum for you. But as Jeff and I always like to say, this is sort of like paint by numbers meets karaoke. You should be following step 1, 2, 3, 4, like paint by numbers. And karaoke, we give you scripts, we give you ideas, we give you the research, we give you all the tools you need so that you can express yourself your way. So like singing the words off the screen, but in your own unique way of doing it, you should sing your song, and we provide you the lyrics in order to be able to make it simple and easy to do so. But get over it. There are going to be people who don't like you. There are going to be people who say, that's ridiculous, that's wrong, I can do it better, that's not true, it's whatever critical reality there is out there, just know everybody faces it. Whether you're Tom Cruise or Jennifer Lopez or whatever the biggest stars out there right now, everybody has critics. Don't think you're not going to have them, but recognize that's just the cost of doing business. And don't let the critics hold you down from doing what you really need to do, which is getting your message out to your people to get the results that you want. That's how it works. Make sure you take the time. And Jeff said it also, Malcolm Gladwell, you got to put in your reps, you got to put in your hours. And the more you do it, the better you get. Nobody's done their best video the first time if they keep on going. Don't think you're not going to have that experience as well. So that's the reality of it. The good news is, like BJ Palmer, who bought radio stations, bought television stations, all because he knew the need to use these technologies to get the message out there. Guess what, folks? You've got your own version of your own television station, radio station, printing press in your pocket or on your desk. You already have it. You just got to know what to say and maybe get a little oomph and a little bit of go get them to get out there. Take a little risk, have a little fun, put a smile on your face, and just share your truth. It's really that simple.
Jason, you just shared a BJ Palmer quote. I'm going to repeat my 3 practical tips for getting started with video, but I was going to go with the Seth Rogen quote. The hater's going to hate and the ain'ter's going to ain't, but I'm going to have to give it to you on the BJ Palmer quote. I might have taken the cake on that one. 3 tips to get started with video. Number 1, it's going to be a little bit uncomfortable. Just get out there, get in those reps. You will be happy you did when you look back. The sooner you get started, the faster you'll build that skill set. Number 2, ensure that you have nice, clear audio. So be in a semi-quiet space. Make sure that you're projecting enough for your phone to pick it up. And yes, your phone is going to be good enough. 99.9% of the time, the video is incredibly shot on so many phones today. And the 3rd tip is lighting. Don't sit in front of a window. I think all of us do that the first time we shoot a video, and it makes you look just like a shadow. You can't see the face. So you want the window in front of you or to the side so you can have some nice lighting. You're in a quiet space and you're projecting. Your audio is going to come through fantastically. And you do that a few times and build that consistency, as we like to say, you are going to see results as time goes on. You're going to impact a lot more people's lives. Hey, if you like that video, be sure to subscribe to the Smart Chiropractor. We are posting videos on how you can market your chiropractic practice in a way that teach and invites consistently. We have found that is the magic formula to big time growth. So if you like this video, be sure to comment down below, smash that subscribe button, or visit us at thesmartchiropractor.com.